Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the fifth session of the 136th Annual Spring Convocation of the University of Manitoba. My name is Gila Gomeshi, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies this morning. First, an announcement. We welcome you to take pictures during the ceremony, but please note that you're asked to remain in your seat. We're asking you not to approach the stage to take pictures in deference to those whose view you may be blocking. You're also reminded to turn your cell phones to silent at this time. You will be welcomed to attend a reception following the ceremony. Students will recess to the reception area outside, south of the Max Bell Center. Please plan to meet your graduate in the reception area and do not block the front entrance of the Investors Group Athletic Center. Next, I would like to welcome our guests seated in front of me who are here at the invitation of the President of our university and guests of the recipients of special honors and awards at the ceremony today. And now, please rise for the entrance of the academic party and our graduating students. Now, graduands, please rise and join John Anderson of the Marcel A. Deshotel Faculty of Music in the singing of O Canada, and remain standing for the traditional honor song and invocation.
Благословен Бог нас аж и повсякчас на веки вечні. Аминь. We grant you, O Lord, for this joyous day and for the help and guidance in our past studies. We pray for the family, friends, and all who have supported and encouraged us during these years at the university. May the Lord grant each of us continued success, health, fulfillment in the days and years to come. Amen.
Please be seated. Good morning and welcome. I'd like to acknowledge our Chancellor, Mr. Harvey Sector, welcome today's recipient of our highest honor, the honorary doctorate degree, Ms. Helen Glass, and also welcome to our platform today, Ms. Patricia Bovey, Chair of the Board of Governors, Dr. Terry Sargent, previous honorary degree recipient and former Chair of the Board of Governors, Dr. Wanda Koop, previous honorary degree recipient, Dr. Ralph Bullock, previous honorary degree recipient, Dr. Henry Engbrecht, previous honorary degree recipient, Mr. Jeremiah Kopp, President of the University of Manitoba Students' Union, Mr. Rennie Zagalski, Board of Directors of the Alumni Association, and Mr. Ramel Dalla, Board of Directors of the Alumni Association. Also on the platform today are members of the senior administration of the university, deans, directors, student representatives, faculty members who've played an important role in the achievements that we're to celebrate today. And of course, I want to recognize and welcome our graduands and all of you who are here as friends and family members. The University of Manitoba campuses are located on the original lands of Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. We respect the treaties that were made on these territories, we acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past, and we dedicate ourselves to move forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. Many of us who are here can remember our own graduations, and we can recall the mixture of emotions that many of you are feeling: relief, excitement, uncertainty perhaps about what comes next. Most of us didn't predict the futures that have arrived for us, and I'm sure that that will be the same for you, that what will come will be exciting and full of possibilities. Sometimes people say that their university years were the best years of their lives. I hope that your years here have been good, but I hope they aren't the best years of your life. I hope that you've been prepared here to accomplish really wonderful and satisfying things. It's always good to graduate from university, but this is a particularly good time to graduate from the University of Manitoba. As our university increasingly takes its place on the world stage, more and more opportunities become available to you. And we see this everywhere we look. In fact, a quick look at our university's community engagement website shows more than 300 examples of the impact of our faculty, students, staff, and alumni here at home and around the world. U2 lead singer Bono said that music can change the world because it changes people. It's a similar belief in the power of music that inspires and motivates Steve Kirby, director of the Jazz Studies program at the Desautels Faculty of Music. Recognizing that inner city youth have fewer opportunities to experience music and to explore their own creative outlets, Steve partnered with Jazz Winnipeg in 2005 to launch the Jazz on Wheels program. This innovative mobile music program introduces high-level musicians into Winnipeg neighborhoods not likely to have access to live music. And there, musicians and youth work together to make their own music, colored and flavored by their experience and their realities. Ultimately, the message is about sharing, creativity, and the pleasure of self-expression. This kind of outreach enhances our community and provides opportunities for everyone to share and develop a love of music, learning, and collaboration. This is what rebels do. When Hurricane Mitch roared across Honduras in 1998, the devastation was absolute. Today, more than 60% of the country's residents continue to live in poverty. In 2012, UM professor Chris Dick and a group of students decided to use their hearts, ideas, innovation, and strength to help. Instead of spending Reading Week at the beach, they founded Students for Sustainability to rebuild homes and infrastructure. Working in collaboration with NGOs and local leaders, they're doing what others wouldn't. Their efforts give kids clean water to brush their teeth and families safe homes and sanitary tools to prepare food. The impact is huge, both in these communities and in the students' own lives. This is what trailblazers do. University of Manitoba professors Marianne Crockett and Lisa Avery were disturbed to find that in parts of India and Kenya, less than 15% of women stay in a hospital or clinic or receive any medical support during the 48 hours after delivery. Mothers and their babies can experience complications and, unfortunately, sometimes die as a result. This needless suffering inspired Doctors Crockett and Avery to be the solution. Together, they bike through villages in sweltering heat, working side by side with medical professionals to provide life-saving care. When they help an unresponsive newborn take her first breath, or ensure a child recovers from diarrhea with a simple zinc lozenge, they don't question the value of their efforts. This is what defenders do. Whether here on campus or halfway across the world, members of the University of Manitoba community are enriching lives and shaping futures. And each of you graduating today has chosen to join this community and be a part of something transformational. You leave here with more than job skills, I hope. You leave here with an understanding of your place in this world, of your ability and your responsibility to make it better. And now it's your turn to take what you've been given and what you've earned and use it to create your own story of success and significance. With huge opportunities in front of you, your journey today begins with a challenge. What will you do? It's a path that today is probably unknown, but as those of us in the audience look at those of you who are about to graduate, we can be certain that you'll continue to give meaning to words like rebel as you defy convention. You'll embody trailblazer as you lead the way. You'll personify defender as you stand in the face of hardship and determined to help those in need. So on behalf of our entire university community, I want to congratulate you on your accomplishment. We have great confidence in each of you as you step forward to take your place front and center. Now, I'd also like to say a word to those of you in the audience. Convocation is an important tradition. We dress in a different way. We wear these robes. They remind us of a tradition of such events that have taken place for hundreds, perhaps thousands of years at many, many institutions around the world. This tradition of scholarship, of people coming to study and then going out to do other things. Sometimes when we dress in ways that are not our normal day-to-day pattern, it establishes not only a sense of formality, which here is a little bit appropriate, but also a sense of distance. And I don't want you to feel that. Those of you who are family members and friends, you've come here because you want to celebrate the accomplishments of someone who is going to graduate. And as the program moves along, each of these individuals will be recognized, but briefly. And when the time comes for the person that you're here to celebrate with to be named, to be photographed, to receive a parchment, you may feel that you want to express your love and your pride, and we welcome that expression. For some of you, it will be calm applause. That may be what suits your family. For some of you, a little more energetic response might be appropriate, and we welcome that as well. I just like to give a little bit of caution. The level of response should indicate how pleased you are, but not necessarily that you're surprised that the result was achieved. Thank you for coming to Convocation.
The highest honor the Senate of a university can confer upon an individual is an honorary doctorate. At the University of Manitoba, the criteria include distinguished achievement in scholarship, the arts, or public service. I am pleased to introduce today's recipient, Ms. Susan J. Glass. The story of Susan Jane Glass is a story of a small-town girl who, once dazzled by Broadway, returned home to become the guiding light of the Royal Winnipeg Ballet. For 2 decades, she has devoted herself to supporting the arts in Canada by serving governing boards across the country, raising funds, advocating, and volunteering. Ms. Glass's name is synonymous with community service, and, I might add, with fun. She rides a custom leopard print Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Ms. Glass was 13 when she left Prince Albert, Saskatchewan for Winnipeg. She came with her mother, the late Helen Glass, who obtained her nursing certificate here, and whose name graces the University of Manitoba College of Nursing building. From here, they went on to New York City. Live theater captivated Ms. Glass during her high school years and later inspired her to channel her energy and talent toward the arts. What she did with her life after high school now seems like a dress rehearsal before the performance. She obtained a Bachelor of Commerce degree from the University of Manitoba and spent 15 years with Air Canada doing computer systems management and marketing. Valuable skills she later used as a leader and fundraiser in the nonprofit sector. Then, in the early 1980s, the dress rehearsal became the show as Ms. Glass turned her attention towards her first passion, the arts. For more than 20 years, Ms. Glass lent her indomitable spirit and inspiring leadership to the Royal Winnipeg Ballet as a board member, chair, and volunteer fundraiser. She has also been governor of the Banff Centre and the prestigious Shaw Festival, chair of the Canadian Arts Summit, and committee co-chair for the Governor-General's Performing Arts Awards. Currently, Ms. Glass is vice chair of the National Arts Centre and a board member of many other arts groups. She has also lent her expertise to several local institutions, including the University of Manitoba and the St. Boniface General Hospital. In 2008, the Association of Fundraising Professionals named Ms. Glass and her entrepreneur husband, Arnie Thorstensen, outstanding volunteer fundraisers in Manitoba. In 2009, she received Canada's highest honor, an appointment as a member of the Order of Canada for her inspiring service to the arts and to Winnipeg. The University of Manitoba is delighted to celebrate Ms. Glass for her dedication to the local and national arts communities and for her commitment to Winnipeg as a supporter of the University of Manitoba, the Canadian Museum for Human Rights, the United Way, and many other institutions. In bestowing Ms. Glass with an honorary doctorate, the University of Manitoba commends her long-standing generosity and determination to make Winnipeg and Canada a finer place for artists and a better place for all citizens. Mr. Chancellor, it is an honor for me to ask, on behalf of the Senate of the University of Manitoba, that you confer upon Ms. Susan Glass the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as the Chancellor of this university, I admit you to the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges thereto appertaining. Congratulations, Dr. Glass.
Chancellor Sector, President Barnard, members of the Senate and Board of Governors, faculty, distinguished guests, friends and family of soon-to-be graduates, and last but most importantly, the graduates of the class of 2015. It is a delight, an honor, and a somewhat overwhelming occurrence to receive an honorary doctorate from my alma mater. I offer humble thanks and appreciation to the University of Manitoba for generously bestowing this designation upon me, and I vow to continue to strive to live up to the standard which it implies. I hesitate to reflect on my years at the U of M as the best years of my life, because every year of my life seems to be the best. However, they certainly were a lot of fun and hard work, surely the most formative, and definitely the years when I made some of the most precious and lasting relationships of my life. I hope that, in retrospect, they will turn out to be the same for you, the graduates. In fact, speaking of long friendships, I delight in the coincidence, or is it the irony, of being presented with this honor by my former classmate, now the Chancellor, Harvey Sector. It is a topic of relevance to which I will return later in my address. I hold this institution very close to my heart. Not only did I benefit from the education I received from the then Faculty of Commerce, my husband Arnie, who joins me on this stage today as part of the academic procession, thanks to the honorary doctorate that he received from this institution 6 years ago, he and I have proudly maintained an active relationship with the now Asper School of Business through several avenues of ongoing support and activity. And as you have heard, the nursing college housed on this campus at the Helen Glass Center for Nursing, named for my late mother, also holds very special significance for me. In conjunction with being accorded this remarkable honor, I also face the somewhat daunting task of trying to leave you with some meaningful remarks and potentially thought-provoking advice. And so I have chosen to talk about what challenges and engages me most. Hopefully, something will resonate with you as I address volunteerism, philanthropy, fundraising, and how they related to me, particularly with regard to the arts in Canada. My introduction to the arts came at a very early age, beginning with ballet classes at the age of 4 in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. And my preoccupation with many artistic genres has continued to grow unabated to where it is now a passion. I think that the point at which it tipped from interest to passion was when I began to intimately know a number of artists, in particular the dancers of the Royal Winnipeg Ballet. Some of them invited me into their world, shared their dreams, trials, and triumphs, and I was enthralled. That experience has encouraged me to reach out, to engage with artists in a variety of both the performing and visual arts. I encourage you to do so, to take every opportunity to engage and learn from artists of all disciplines. Many of you here in today's audience are already accomplished artists, and I encourage you to engage with your audiences. I would venture that many of you found your calling at a young age. I wish that every child could be exposed to the arts at a very early age in all their forms. I fear that the decline of the arts in the core curriculum of our early childhood education will have detrimental, long-lasting effects on the abilities and sensibilities of our society. A recent survey conducted by the organization Business for the Arts found that Canadians share a strong belief that participation in the arts has a positive impact on health and well-being, improves children's academic performance, helps children from disadvantaged communities succeed, and makes for more integrated and healthier communities. As my interest for the arts developed, it quite naturally led to volunteerism. As contributing members of our communities, it is our obligation to offer our time and our talents for no remuneration other than for the satisfaction of having made a contribution. Find an area of need, find your area of interest, find your passion, and then volunteer in order to make a difference. Step up and take a leadership role. Be a social entrepreneur and find an innovative solution. The opportunities for involvement are infinite, be it education, healthcare, athletics, social services, arts, or any other of a multitude of options. Our community, our country, our world depends on volunteerism, and as well-educated members of society, it is my contention that we are obliged to make a personal contribution. To add emphasis with an anonymous quote, volunteers are unpaid, not because they are worthless, but because they are priceless. As you graduate today and move on in your careers, I hope that in the future you will consider the possibility of making financial gifts to support some causes that resonate with you. You will likely be presented with any number of requests for support from a variety of sources. It may be as simple as a 50-50 ticket at a Jets game, an event ticket to raise money for a healthcare initiative, an annual contribution to the United Way, a donation to support the University of Manitoba, which of course I would encourage, or a contribution to build a new art gallery or museum. Our country's income tax legislation is designed to encourage donations to registered not-for-profit organizations, thus reducing the effective cost to you, the donor. There are programs that offer matching government and community foundation dollars in response to private donations, thereby multiplying the effect of your gift. Choose wisely and direct your philanthropy to your chosen areas of interest. As Winston Churchill said, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." In my own case, I found that I enjoyed being on the asking side of the fundraising activity. As my passions grew for certain causes and organizations, I wanted to participate to a greater extent by helping to raise funds from private donors, both corporate and individuals. Perhaps some of you will also take up this side of the not-for-profit sector. People give to people with whom they have a relationship and to concepts that resonate. A well-reasoned case for support is essential. Then much of the success of fundraising depends upon who makes the request of a prospective donor. It is at this point that I would like to share a personal experience with you, and I'll beg the indulgence of Chancellor Sector. When the Drake Center was being built to house the current Asper Business School, I agreed to co-chair the alumni portion of the capital campaign. As a fellow classmate, I relished the opportunity to request support from Harvey Sector. You see, he and his buddy Marvin used to skip Friday afternoon commercial law class, but they knew I would always go, and they would always ask to borrow my notes. So when it came time to contribute to the campaign for the Drake Center, it was payback time. My request to him was responded to in a very prompt and generous manner. Thank you again, Chancellor Sector, for proving that fundraising can be fun as well as rewarding. As I conclude my remarks today, and while I have a captive audience, I want to introduce you to the concept of Canada as an arts nation. This does not take away anything from our prowess on the ice rink, but it is a statistical fact that Canadians spend twice as much each year attending live performances than attending all sporting events combined. As a country, we punch way above our weight in the arts. Beyond our borders, we're known for our artists, actors, directors, musicians, composers, dancers, choreographers, filmmakers, and broadcasters. More so than politicians or hockey players, it is our artists that define us on the world stage. Over the years, I have had the privilege to tour with groups such as the Royal Winnipeg Ballet to South America and Israel, the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra to New York's Carnegie Hall, our city's plug-in Institute of Contemporary Art in Paris, an Emily Carr exhibit in Dulwich, England, and recently I toured Canada's Pavilion at the Venice Biennale. Perhaps the most emotional experience was traveling with Canada's National Arts Centre Orchestra to the UK to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Canada's entry into World War I. In each of those cases, and in countless others, those tours and exhibits were made possible in large part by private donations from individuals and corporations. Enlightened donors who understand the power of the arts to showcase our Canadian brand as an arts nation. They represent the image, the diversity, the excellence, and the very best of our nation. As Canada moves towards its 150th anniversary in 2017, and under the endorsement of the Foundation for the Governor-General's Performing Arts Awards, watch for messaging that identifies us as an arts nation. I encourage you to not only jump on that bandwagon, but also to be part of the parade and the cheering section. Thank you. And thank you again to the University of Manitoba for giving me this special honor and the privilege of speaking to you today.
We now turn our attention to the academic achievements of our graduating students. Before proceeding with the conferral of degrees, we would like to recognize students who have achieved the highest standing of their class. The recipient of the University Gold Medal Architecture, Kent Mundell. Approach. Kent Mundell is the recipient of the University Gold Medal in Architecture, awarded for outstanding achievement in the faculty. He's a graduate from St. John's Ravenscourt in Winnipeg. In addition to his studies, Kent writes for an online journal called Muddy Water Magazine. He also plays in a men's basketball league and volunteers for a youth voting campaign called Be the Vote. Kent credits the relationships he built with faculty and other students as the most impactful part of his university experience. Kent is graduating today with a Bachelor of Environmental Design degree. The recipient of the University Gold Medal in Education is Angela O'Brien-Kluchuk. Angela is being recognized for outstanding achievement in the faculty. Angela is a graduate from Hapnot Collegiate in Flin Flon, Manitoba, and received a Bachelor of Arts Advanced from the University of Manitoba in 2011. Last year, Angela received an undergraduate research award and worked as a research assistant in the field of international education with Dr. Robert Mitzi. This opportunity led to a presentation at West Cast 2015, an undergraduate education conference. Angela is co-founder and female-identified co-chair of ARC Education, a newly formed gay-straight alliance in the Faculty of Education. Her degree in global political economy and her time teaching English as an additional language for 3 years in China inspired her to teach newcomers to Canada and perform research in the field of international education. Angela is graduating today with a Bachelor of Education degree. And the recipient of the University Gold Medal in the Faculty of Music is Derek Clausen. Derek Clausen is awarded for outstanding achievement in the Faculty of Music. He's a graduate of W.C. Miller Collegiate in Altona, Manitoba. During the last several years, Derek has volunteered for the Manitoba Band Association's Provincial Honor Band program by providing percussion clinics and sitting in during rehearsals. He has performed as part of the University of Manitoba's Chamber Winds Symphony Orchestra and Concert Band. He's also played with the Winnipeg Wind Ensemble and as an extra percussionist with the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. Derek credits his final practicum placement at Vincent Massey Collegiate as having shaped his philosophy and beliefs surrounding music education. He plans to return to Altona in the fall to begin a position teaching band. Derek is graduating today with a Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Education integrated degree. A complete list of the winners of medals and prizes is shown in your program commencing on page 165. I invite you to read this list at your leisure. I now invite Chancellor Harvey Sector to address convocation.
Thank you. It's an honor for me to be here today to join you, the graduands, your family and friends, in celebrating the completion of your current program. Sincere congratulations to all of our students who are receiving awards and prizes for their individual achievements, and especially to Dr. Glass on receiving a most well-deserved honorary degree from her alma mater. We heard earlier from the President that the University of Manitoba has a rich history dating back to 1877. Over the past 138 years, students, faculty, alumni, and others connected with this institution have made and continue to make significant contributions to the cultural, social, and economic well-being of the people of Manitoba, Canada, and increasingly around the world. Today, we recognize Susan Glass. Few in her generation have provided greater leadership and benefit to our community than has Susan Glass. A few years ago, many of us took great pride in hearing that Winnipeg was named the cultural capital of Canada. That reality, for many of our cherished organizations in the cultural community, would still likely be just a dream if it were not for people like Susan, who through their volunteer efforts refused to accept the former status quo as a given. They changed the community for the better for all of us. Her achievements and those of her contemporaries remind me of the Margaret Mead quote. It says, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." It's been said that one of the things we take with us upon graduation is not only our degree, but also the reputation of our alma mater. I, like you, are the beneficiaries of a reputation based on the contributions created by those who came before us. I'm confident that many of you will do what you can to see that reputation enhanced even further by what you do, both in your chosen fields and in your community. Though many of the challenges of the past have been addressed, many still remain, and new ones will continue to show up. They create the opportunities to contribute to a better society. So as you begin the next chapter in your lives, I encourage you to keep in mind the advice of Nelson Mandela, who said, "There's no passion in playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one you're capable of living." I hope that as you reflect back on your time at the University of Manitoba, you'll feel that while you were here, you moved just a little further along the path to becoming all that you were meant to be. Congratulations and best wishes for both professional careers and personal lives that are filled with much success and great satisfaction. Congratulations to you all.
Mr. Chancellor, I now have the honor to request on behalf of the University Senate that you confer upon the candidates the degrees, diplomas, and certificates earned by them, as these shall later be announced. Will those who are to receive degrees, diplomas, and certificates please rise?
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of this university, I admit you to the degrees to which you are severally entitled, with all of the rights and privileges thereto appertaining. I also admit in absentia those who've completed the requirements for these degrees, but who are not today able to be present.
Will those graduates in the front row please remain standing, and the others please resume your seats. Mr. Chancellor, may I present the candidates whom you have admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, with Dean J. During presenting the parchments and Dr. Joanne Kesselman, Provost and Vice President Academic, hooding the graduates. Helen Irma Lepp Friesen. John James Murray. Candy Sinclair, this degree is being awarded posthumously. Mr. Chancellor, may I present the candidate whom you have admitted to the degree of Master of Interior Design? With Dean Ralph Stern of the Faculty of Architecture hooding the graduate. Corey Elizabeth Allen. Mr. Chancellor, may I present the candidates whom you have admitted to the degree of Master of Landscape Architecture? Allison Gay Burkett. Desiree Marie Bunn. Marie Kathleen Carey. James William Frank. Vincent Neil Weeb Hossein. Rochelle Louise Kerouac. Mr. Chancellor, may I present the candidates whom you have admitted to the degree of Master of Education, with Dean David Manzik of the Faculty of Education hooding the graduates. Thank you. Charles Jabao Bendu. Mary Lynn Heppel Bertie. Sherry Kim Marie Black. Teresa Delight Cavett. Dan Chen. Yunyi Chen. Adrian Cheryl Collins. Paul Michael Doyle. Amanda Dawn Dubois. Brent Allen Epp. Cheryl Kathleen Isaac. Samuel Leon Jerema. Marnie Nicole Kentner. Minji Kim. Joyce Albina Mary McCallum. Linda Mary McPherson. Tanis Moffat. Tagreed Mohammed. Marnie Lee Patterson. Ashley Christine Queen. Julie Dawn Rogoski. Eric Saganis. Barbara Jane Shearer. Frances Lynn Taylor. Mr. Chancellor, may I present the candidate whom you have admitted to the degree of Master of Music with Associate Dean Gordon Fitzell of the Marcel A. Deshotel Faculty of Music, hooding the graduate. Li Ming Shu. Mr. Chancellor, may I present the candidates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Environmental Design, with Dean Ralph Stern of the Faculty of Architecture presenting the parchments. Kent McKinnon Georgie Mundell. Thomas Victor Allen. Emil Andron Alvarez. Caitlin Lena Jean Bailey. Leanza Rose Barra. Crystal Jade Bergen. Marla Marie Bigelow. Larissa Blumenshine. Caitlin Alexandra Brock. Samantha Adriana Brodick. Kevin Santiago Celestino. Stella Carrera Chainho. Ian Chung. Boom Jun Steve Cho. Milan Alexandria Code. Julietta Yael Cohen. Claire Caton Davis. Corey Michael Doucette. Ellen Ann Enns. Louisa Franca Fontaine. Heber Antonio Garcia. Marco David Garcia. Samantha Cynthia Garrett. Taylor Dawn Gould. Caroline Elizabeth Grimes. Matthew Lee Hagan. Daryl Ann Justine Hamelin. Andrew Oli Philip Hansen. Jane Victoria Taylor Hilder. Kalika Hoogstraten. Tong Zhao. Ivan Dario Katz. Alyssa Amanda Lamkin Anderson. Lindsay Ann Ledowhowski. Branton Stephen William Lescue. Bridget Lewicki. Ryan Franklin Waman Lewis. Samantha Grace McCrae. Ariel John Manike. Jessica Quinn Martin. Caleb Garth McGinn. Mitchell Alexander McIntosh. Genevieve Elizabeth Mead. Devon Meyer. Jody Lynn Miller. Kristen Brianne Mowat. Kathleen Grace Regalado Nicanor. Alana Marie Perron. Matthew Radford. Desiree Lynn Rantella. Amanda Reese. Chad Lucas Rempel. John James Shirk. Kate Elizabeth Soltis. Leslie Dawn St. Godard. Jessica Anna Suter. Kayla Dawn Svensson. Evan Oliver Taylor. Nada Uden. Carson Lee Weeb. Dale Stephen Weeb. Todd David Willick. Irene Wong. Tyler James Raymond Yakachuk. Alicia Zaishley. Wei Zhou. Mr. Chancellor, may I present the candidates whom you have admitted to the degree of post-baccalaureate diploma in education? No? Oh, the Bachelor of Education? Sorry. With Dean David Manzuk presenting the parchments. And again, the recipient of the Faculty of Education Program Medal, Middle Years Stream, Angela Dawn O'Brien Kluchuk. Jennifer Angela Allen. Alexa Balco. Alexandra Noel Bancroft. Nicholas Robert Barker. Paul Andrew David Barkman. Stephanie Nicole Baxter. Paige Ashley Beaudry. Courtney Lynn Becker. Tyler Bradley Bellog. Bryce Robert Bergman. Daniel Nicholas Bergman. Brianne Ashley Burke. Brent Brian Barry. Amanda Marie Balavichus. Parker Reed Bouvier. Zoe Christiana Britton. Dustin Donald Bruce. Yon Peter Bruckshaw. Domenico Bruni. Jessica Blanche Campbell. Amanda Caroline Cartman. Roxanne Joanne Catelier. Gage Michael Cherpak. Alexis Lee Cherniak. Abdou Cisse. Morgan Lee Cross. Brittany Celine Dagg. Monique Lexi Brooke Davidson. Jody Linnell Davies. Jennifer Lee Davis Persad. Matthew Claude Joseph DeGraff. Travis Scott DeKazel. Zachary Norman Lloyd Dyball. Lynn Doe. Jessica Eve DuPont. Sandra Leona Mary Clara Eaton. Holly Thompson Ediger. Cara Leanne Fair. Justin Mark Fair. Maria Ferlano. Justine Christina Fontaine. Lori Diane Forrest. Thomas Friesen. Cara Ann Frickland. Michelle Renee Ginter. Rosalie Madeleine Carol Giroir. Marcus Aaron Gertson. Jessie Mae Goodwill. Tyson James Gross. Otto Gerhard Paul Grosskopf. Alicia Gunther. Jessica Ann Gospodarchuk. Leah May Harpel. Kevin Scott Hebert. Kurt James Hildebrandt. Scott Iverson Yartarson. Jenna L. Hobson. A recipient of the Faculty of Education Program Medal Early Years Stream, Jaylene Nicole Hoffman. Carrie Marie Gale Huff. Kylie Amanda Hirak. Stephanie Jean Imhoff. Candace Angeline Janesco. Dana Ashley Jardine. Juan Miguel Pertez Jimenez. Kelsey Nicole Robson Jones. Lana Marie Jorgensen. Laura Marie Kalida. Marta Kowaluk. Catherine Michelle Kazin. Maren Ketzman. Randall Mackenzie Clausen. Jonathan George Kloss. Michelle Christina Kostu. Suzanne Angel Kotelniski. Angela Nicole Kramer. Grant Michael Robert Croker. Angela Birgit Kuhnli. David William Kukkonen. Amanda Marie Lynn Kula. Megan Lynn Kynock. Christian Brian Lacko. Nicole Cecile Lavallée. Sarah Marie Frances Lenhart Mayer. Quan Lin. Thank you. Jeremy Francesco John Lomonaco. Nicholas Robert Lovett. Leah Maggie Mabon. Ian Allen Fraser McDonald. Samantha Maureen McDonald. Jordan Rihanna Main. Evan Joseph Maltman. Gretzel Hippolito Marqueda. Giovanni Carmine Massi. Stephanie Ann McGregor. Blair McIntosh. Raylyn McIntosh. Brooke Michelle Marie McIver. Sarah Marie McQuaid. Robin Blair Melvin. Jordan Michalski. Christiana Leanne Michaluk. Clarice Joy Misa. Stevie Gabrielle Moore. Cara Dawn Marie Moroz. Brittany Page Morris. Arlana Michelle Muller. Kathleen Margaret Nelson. Recipient of the Faculty of Education Program Medal, Senior Years Stream, Jason David Neufeld. Sasha Dawn Nygaard. Leanne Marie Oakes. Kaylin Rose Valdez Oquendo. Sarah Kathleen Oswald. Corliss Melina Pahal. Cassandra Leanne Patches. Bailey Park Payne. Carly Leanne Penner. Sarah Marie Perch. Mike Mark Platink. Jody Debbie Marie Plouffe. Jenny Lee Presber. Rajvinder Kaur Rakra. Ubanisha Ratnam. Allison Marie Liush Regier. Sherry Joanna Reimer. Christian Norman Albert Rentz. Kyle Brian Riddler. Brent Alexander Robertson. Virginia Hillary Robinson. Carly Dawn Russell. Stephen James Shapansky. Daniel Mark Schinkel. Morgan Jessica Schrader. Christine Joanne Scott. Julianne Margaret Siemens. Madison Jade Siemens. Martin Abram Jack Siemens. Ariel Vida Sliker. Andrew Willis Smith. Dustin Lee St. Goddard. Rosanna Marie Stadnick. Rebecca Joyce Stakowski. Orissa Noel Stein. Ronald Allen Subban. Jared William Suderman. Jeanette Carrie Lynn Supas. Ryan James Tabas. Vanessa Leanne Teller. Robert David Taylor. Brian John Thiessen. Caleb Edmar Thiessen. Lindsay Carmen Sang. Tegan Haley Vasveri. Nicole Elizabeth Vaughn. Justin Curtis Vashina. Stephanie Nicole Alexandria Waddell. Eric Brady Weeb. Nicole Elsa Dawn Marie Wallman. Aaliyah Shea Warona. John Edwin Christopher Wren. Jeffrey Allen Wright. Mr. Chancellor, may I present the candidates whom you have admitted to now the post-baccalaureate diploma in education. Patricia Lynn Atkinson. Emily DeLuca Toronto. Miriam Henrika Duke. Andrew Mark Dykers. Dustin Garrett Dvorak. Nicole Giselle Girardin. Irma Hastman. Gloria Diane Juvenin. Lillian Cecile Manamawatam. Paul Kelvin Yap Ong. Elena Plotnikova. Rebecca Sue Reynolds. Claudia Joelle Sanderson. Kathleen Janet Shipley. Irma Verk. Kathy Lenore von Gunton-Wiebe. Laura Patricia Warrenchuk Rankin. Mr. Chancellor, may I present the candidates who have completed the Campus Life program? Philip Bialk. Stand and take your picture. Tabitha Eva Stevenson. Stephenson. Mr. Chancellor, may I present the candidates whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Jazz Studies with Associate Dean Gordon Fitzel of the Marcel A. Deshotel Faculty of Music presenting the parchments. Recipient of the Program Medal in Music, Jason Sean Buchanan. Glenn Radley. Mr. Chancellor, may I present the candidates whom you have admitted to the degrees of Bachelor of Music, Performance. Kevin Arcedo. Victoria Grinenko. Geneva Marianne Halverson. Recipient of the Faculty of Music Bachelor of Music Performance Medal, Thomas Neil Maitland Ingram. Heather Victoria Jonason. Julie Catherine Irene Lumsden. Kelsey Marie Nordstrom. Christy Rory Tucker. Mr. Chancellor, may I present the candidates whom you have admitted to the degrees of Bachelor of Music. Brianna Jane Kohler. Chantal Claire Kugel. Rachel Renee Ollinger. Olivia Rachel Orton. Allison Paige Marie Phipps. Christelle Van Royen. Ben William Selleck. Recipient of the Faculty of Music General Studies Medal, Katarina Wolf. Mr. Chancellor, may I present the candidates whom you have admitted to the degrees of Bachelor of Education and Bachelor of Music. Again, recipient of the University of Gold Medal in Music, Derek Richard Clausen. Rebecca Ann Barkman. Joshua Gordon Bader. Robert Jonathan James Bettner. Dominic Steve Govrin. Christine Garlick. Grace Unmo Kim. Russell Alden Kuntz. Recipient of the Faculty of Music Integrated Music Education Music Medal, Stephanie Pinette. Mara Ann Porco. Caleb Peter Reimer. Bailey Ann Seneker. Jacqueline Mary Woodcroft. And that's the end of the list.
Good morning, everyone. Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, Dr. Glass, guests and graduates, congratulations, you did it. As you set out to leave your unique imprint on life, I hope each of you finds inspiration from the alumni who have studied here before you. If you aspire to be an effective educator, a leading architect, or an influential musician, Look no further than Wayne Davies, a principal who inspired his students to raise more than $100,000, or the bold and brilliant architect, Sasa Radulovic, or rising opera star, Adriana Chuchman. From my own experience as an alumnus, having sat in the spot you occupy today, I can tell you that this network of more than 132,000 graduates in 131 countries is here for you. I encourage you to stay connected through the University of Manitoba's Alumni Office. Throughout my involvement with the Alumni Association, I have met alumni who have extended their hand as a mentor, an advisor, a coach, or as a friend to fellow grads like you. We recognize that the influence of this university is epitomized by the accomplishments of our alumni, and standing proudly behind you, your outstanding achievements, and the contributions you will make to the world is more than just our privilege. It's what we do. So again, thank you, congratulations. Now go and take your place. Thank you.
This brings our morning proceedings to a close. I would ask those of you who are in the audience to stay in your seats until the academic procession has left. And then please join us for a reception outside on the pedway where the graduates will await you. I now declare conversation to be over and convocation to be in recess.